presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
What a wild week of weather for the Cleveland Indians. In total, 3 rainouts in 7 days. That all changes tonight as we go indoors to play the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitching was the story last year at Tropicana Field when 3 Tribe starters took no hitters into the 6th inning, including Carlos Carrasco's near miss in the 9th. Pitching will once again be the story tonight as Corey Kluber makes his 2nd start next on Sports Time Ohio. The good ship Wahoo has pulled into port here in St. Petersburg, Florida, where tonight the Tribe gets back to business finally as they open up a 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Because of the poor weather and all of the rainouts, the Indians have played the fewest number of games in all of Major League Baseball, so they've got some catching up to do. We know we're going to play the next 3 games indoors here at Tampa. And last year when the Tribe came here to St. Petersburg, Rick, they put on a pitching display that we haven't seen the likes of since.
No question. They won all 4 games, and Cody Anderson started out with 6 1/3 perfect innings of baseball, and then passed the torch along to the next guy. It was Danny Salazar. He went 5 2/3 no-hit baseball, and then turns it over to Carlos Carrasco, who went 8 2/3 of no-hit baseball, almost had a no-hitter, couldn't do it, and Corey Kluber wraps it up with 14 strikeouts. They ended up winning that game in extra innings, but what a series it was for Tribe pitchers. You'd love to see him come back and do that tonight. Kluber tonight will be on the mound, career 2-1 against the Rays. He'll be matched up against left-hander Matt Moore, who they locked up last year on July 2nd, and he's 2-1 against the Tribe in his career.
In that 4-game series, all told, the Indians pitching gave up 6 runs on 13 hits and struck out 39 Tampa Bay hitters. Incredible performance. We'll see if they can try and maybe duplicate it starting here tonight. We'll be back with the first pitch coming up, but we'll go back to the studio before then. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. What a difference a few hours on a plane can make heading south here to Central Florida. Indians escaping the snow and now ready to take on the Rays. And KIPNIS and LINDOR giving it to Raymond, the Tampa mascot, as they get ready for tonight's ball game.
Tag team match.
Indians 2 up, 2 down on the year. Tampa Bay's lost a couple in a row to Baltimore. They're 2-4 to start the year. And the Indians under Terry Francona turn to Corey Kluber to get this series started off on the right foot. Matt Moore will go for the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's go down now to Andre Knott.
Well, guys, with Matt Moore, it looks like the one thing all the hitters told me when they looked at the film of his first start is it looks like he has more movement, more bite to all of his off-speed pitches after the last time they saw him when he was coming off Tommy John. At 6 strikeouts, 5 of them came with swinging and missing. A lot of extra batting practice for these guys. I had a couple coaches tell me they better swing as good as 7 o'clock, as much as we swung earlier today.
Well, they have to, boy. They've been on an extended vacation this year. They played the fewest games in all of baseball.
Yeah, 2-2 with just the weather playing havoc with the Indians' early season schedule. The home opener, the season opener was rained out, played the next day, got a game in after that, then another rain out, go to Chicago, play a couple, get another rained out affair. So yesterday a scheduled off day, now back to work here tonight. The starting lineup for Terry Francona's ball club looks like this. Rajai Davis will lead it off, then it's Jason Kipnis. Francisco Lindor will bat third. Mike Napoli leads the team with a couple of home runs, will hit cleanup. Carlos Santana leading the team with 5 RBIs, will hit fifth. Yan Gomes batting sixth, then it's Marlon Byrd, Juan Uribe, and Jose Ramirez.
And the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher is going to be 26-year-old Matt Moore. He and Kluber matched up last July 2nd. That was his comeback from Tommy John surgery. And, you know, he had 2 stints in the big leagues. He was sent back to the minor leagues. He came back up in September, and he was much better off the second time he was up. I think he strengthened that arm, and he is 2-1 in his career against the Indians. So they're going to lock up again. And he had 3 no-hit innings in his first start last year against him, but it was a no decision for him. Let's set the defense behind him tonight. It will look like this. In the outfield, it's going to be Jennings in left, KIERMAIER in center. Souza Jr. is in right. Longoria at third, Miller at short. Forsythe at second, Morrison at first. Conger doing the catching.
Marty Foster will call the balls and strikes. Mike McClinsky is at first. The crew chief, Mike Winters at second. Mark Wegner down at third. Marty, Mike, and Mark. Matt Moore winds it up, and we're underway in St. Pete with a pitch that's high for ball 1. Rajai Davis 2 out of 14 at the plate to start the year. Pops this back out of play, and it evens the count at 1-1.
Boy, it's got to feel great for these guys just to play in some short sleeve, nice weather.
Now the 1-1. Well, especially when you consider that,
Let's go, Matty!
yeah, the first game they played in Chicago, which was the White Sox home opener, it was snow off and on throughout the day. But then the next game wasn't much better in terms of temperature.
I think they've only had one game above 30 degrees that they've played out of the 4.
Good pitch. Strike 3 called. Davis took it, thought maybe it was a tad high, but Marty Foster rings him up 1 away.
Take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's a fastball. It's in. It's right there. And pretty good pitch. I know as a hitter you may think that's high, but look at, he's in a crouch, and it's a little bit above the belt.
Yeah, the only decent temperature so far was the second game of the year against Boston.
It was sunny, but it was chilly.
But it was 60 degrees, 50-something degrees at game time.
Yeah, you're right.
That day wasn't bad. That's been it, though. Jason Kipnis, 4 for 14 on the year. Swung out and missed. Tampa's problem to this point, according to Kevin Cash, is that from a starting pitching standpoint, they haven't pitched ahead. Already you see Moore getting ahead 0-2 on Kipnis. He said, we've got to attack and get ahead of hitters make more quality pitches early in counts so that it doesn't put our pitchers in a position of having to make a perfect pitch. Yeah, that's low and away, ball and 2 strikes.
Well, and one of the problems too is they've been falling behind early in games and having to play catch up. You know, their record at 2-4, they've only been ahead in 6 innings of all their ball games.
Now the 1-2 offering, swung out and missed. He chased one in the dirt. Again, that's the advantage when you pitch ahead in the count. You get a hitter to get himself out sometimes because they're in sort of protect mode. 2 down after the second strikeout of the game for Moore.
Yeah, that ball was down in the dirt. But it looked like it could have been a changeup down. Usually you don't spike a fastball and short hop them, so I'm guessing that would have been a changeup.
Francisco Lindor batting third tonight, 5 out of 15 to start the campaign. Normally Michael Brantley would bat third for the Indians. He's on a rehab assignment, double down the left field line. His first time up for Columbus tonight. Lonnie Chisenhall drove him home with a sac fly. Lindor, big swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
He's getting it up there in the mid-90s. He always has had a pretty good fastball. But as we mentioned, you know, those last couple of years coming off that Tommy John surgery, he is just getting back to form.
Bloop to right. That's near the line. It's dropping and it's fair. Souza Jr. cuts it off, and Lindor has to hold with a long 2-out single.
This ball right here sliced down the line. Could have been placed any better by Lindor. So he'll get a 2-out single. Give Mike Napoli an opportunity. The first start for Matt Moore came against the Toronto Blue Jays. He went 5 innings and gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, and they all came in 1 inning. It was a 3-run home run by Josh Donaldson.
That's kind of been the story thus far for Tampa Bay. You alluded to the fact, Rick, they've been playing from behind. You know, their offense is still a work in progress. They know as an organization they need to pitch well, play defense well, but it's been 1 bad inning for their pitch. It's not like their pitching's fallen apart at the seams. They've had 1 bad inning where it's maybe gotten away from them just enough, and that's been the difference for them.
Yeah, and the long ball has hurt them.
Yeah.
You know, Archer went into Baltimore, gave up 4 solo home runs in a start. So that has been their problem, giving up the long ball. As pitchers, they've given up 10.
And that's a bunch in just 6 games played.
Yes, indeed.
Mike Napoli takes a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Tribe's cleanup man, who has cleaned up with a couple of home runs and 3 driven in.
Moore looking for his first healthy year since his rookie year back in 2012. He's been limited to just 14 starts over the past 2 seasons. But this guy, you know, in his rookie year really helped Tampa into the playoffs.
And a called strike. Napoli falls behind now, 1-2. Mike's 2 home runs this year. The 1 gave the Indians the lead. That one was against the Red Sox. His other home run tied the ball game off Chris Sale in Chicago. Back to the screen.
I look at Moore and it looks like he's got a pretty quick slide step to the plate there. I was just curious because with Conger behind the plate, last year base stealers were 42 out of 43 when he was behind the plate, and they have had 39 straight stolen bases. So if they can get any kind of jump or running game, I would expect to see him running. There's the high leg kick.
Napoli just protecting. That was in on his hands, but he got a piece to stay alive.
Well, his fastball looks like it's moving pretty well here in the first inning. This time he gives you the big kick, and that's the pitch you want to pick to run on. Just a matter of if you can pick the right time to do it. Slide step, struck him out.
And a good first inning from Matt Moore as he strikes out 3. LINDOR gets a knock, but he's stranded at first. The Rays are coming to bat when we come back. In St. Pete, where Kevin Cash will put this lineup out there tonight for Tampa Bay. Logan Forsythe, a leadoff hitter, followed by Logan Morrison. Evan Longoria, the longest tenured Ray, will hit 3rd. Corey Dickerson clean up. Desmond Jennings batting 5th. Brad Miller will hit 6th. Steven Souza Jr. is the 7-hole hitter. Kevin Kiermaier will bat 8th, and Hank Conger, switch-hitting catcher, will bat 9th.
Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher Corey Kluber for the Tribe tonight, making his 2nd start. First one came against Boston. He took the L in the home opener. 5 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. Corey is 2-1 in his career against the Rays. He made 2 starts last year, and he was 0-1, but he pitched a good ball game down here for a no decision.
And the first pitch of the night for Kluber is up and away, ball 1. Baseball is a very rhythmic sport in terms of the way the schedule plays over the course of a season. And it will be interesting to see what, if any, effect the sort of stop and start momentum of the early part of the season has on the Indians ball club.
Well, as a manager and as a player, coming out of spring training in April is not the time you need days off, you know, but there's nothing you could do about it when it comes because of the weather.
Out of play, 1-2 the count.
You're going to have days where we'd be begging for a day off.
Yeah.
And you know, right now they're begging to just play games and get into a rhythm. You've got 2 players on the team that haven't played yet, Perez and Tomlin. Tomlin was supposed to start Sunday. He'll get pushed back to this weekend.
Logan Forsythe just reached out, tried to poke one to center, but Rajai Davis runs it down. 1 away.
Here's the Indians defense, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Ramirez in left field, Davis is in center, and it'll be Bird in right. Uribe at 3rd, LINDOR at short, KIPNIS is at 2nd, Napoli at 1st with Gomes doing the catching.
Logan Morrison, one of the offseason additions to this Rays ball club, trying to give the offense a little extra oomph. And a first pitch strike at the knees. Morrison's done a nice job against the Indians with a .304 average in 19 career games, 6 doubles, 9 driven in. Good off-speed pitch, but he spit on it, and it's 1-1. That fastball just in off the plate. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 offering. Broken bat bouncer to first base. Napoli will take it himself, and there are 2 down. You know, it's been a rough start so far for Tampa Bay from an offensive standpoint, in that they've only scored 18 runs in their first 6 games. Now that's the second fewest in team history after 6 games, but that's like a waterfall of runs compared to the club's record when they scored 8 runs in their first 6 games in 2011.
Yeah, that's a tough way to win. I know offensively they've struggled to hit with runners in scoring position to this point, but they have hit a home run. You know, they've hit a home run in a club record 20 consecutive games. They have 8 on the year. 2 guys have 3.
Well, and the challenge for Tampa hitting coach Derek Shelton, who we know, of course, spent a number of years with the Indians in Cleveland, is that you've got a hitter like Evan Longoria, who's the guy that sort of sits in the middle of the lineup. Everything sort of revolves around him. He's clearly their best hitter, their best player. But the pieces around him are constantly changing just because of the market dynamics here in Tampa.
Well, they're a team much like the Indians. You have to, you know, trust everybody in that lineup. Everybody has to do their job. And it's, you know, with constantly the turnover ratio, it's hard to do.
The 1-2. Weekly tap, but with the shift on, it's going to work out well, and Longoria has a base hit.
You know, it's almost like he steered the ball that way, because Napoli, if you watch and see how far off of first base he was, Kluber had to get over there. And even if he makes this play, look at, there's Napoli right there in your picture. He's playing second base.
Yep.
And if he dives, I don't know if he can get up and throw it to Kluber in time to get him. He just steered that ball that way. That's pretty good hitting. But the way the defense, Kluber hustles to get over, but that would have been an awfully tough play for Napoli. That was a weird defensive alignment right there.
So Longoria reaches on the base hit, and it brings up Tampa's power hitter in the lineup, Corey Dickerson. As you see there, already 3 home runs, all 3 solo shots. And he fouls this one back. Dickerson came from Colorado in the offseason, part of a 4-player trade. Jake McGee went to Colorado in that deal.
Yeah, the left-handed reliever coming out of that bullpen. This guy has some pop, but he has to adjust to the DH role.
Did he chase? No, he got a piece of it. I thought it was in the dirt.
Looked like it didn't.
I thought it was just a straight ball. Let's take another look. It might have hit the ground first, then his bat.
It's out in front of home plate.
How about that?
Yeah. Little rugby or a little
cricket.
Cricket. Dickerson has that typical left-handed swing, that uppercut. When he hits it, he can hit it high and he can hit them far.
Tapper over the mound. Kipnis on a crazy bounce fields it cleanly, and that will end the first. Each team with a single, but no damage after one. Cruising the high seas here in St. Pete.
Oh boy, how nice does that look? My goodness. Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with the radio broadcast, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Great way to spend an off day. Carlos Santana takes a strike.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
It sure looked like it.
The water was so calm yesterday. There was hardly any kind of a breeze or anything. Santana taking inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. He leads the team with 5 driven in. And a foul back. Gets Moore ahead in the count, 1-2. Matt Moore was an 8th round pick out of Fort Walton Beach High School here in Florida. Signed with the Rays that June. Another 1-2. Just off the plate. That's a really good pitch, especially when you're ahead in the count.
And you pitched him in for the first 2 pitches, so you have a hitter looking in there. You try and just nail the outside corner.
Popped him up right on the infield. 1 away. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. For the Indians, we talked about this, the rhythm, get into a routine. You know they're going to play 3 in a row. That'll be good. And we'll see if they can get into the Rays bullpen. Moore looks like he's in a good rhythm to start this ball game as Yan Gomes digs in. And Andre Knott has more on the Indians and what they're trying to do to find that rhythm here early on.
You know, Terry Francona said this is a game of rhythm, and we don't have one right now, but it's our job to find it. You know, they came over here early today. They thought about having a workout yesterday, but they nixed that and gave the guys a day off. Really, they just want to find it, and that helps get the rhythm going right there.
Yeah, Yan Gomes with a nice line drive stroke toward the right center field gap, and the Indians have a hit in each of the first 2 innings.
But, Matt, the one thing that Tito truly said he wanted to do, and he felt like they missed over the first week, was just getting an infield practice and batting practice before games. He says this is a time of the year where you need it. He felt like coming to double plays and some of the problems they had in Chicago kind of played back to not having batting practice for a full week.
Well, yeah, you get
that,
the weather
and then the weather, too. I mean,
Yeah.
people don't understand that when you have to play baseball in 30-degree weather, it's almost impossible because you can't feel your body.
Right, that, and combine that with the fact because the weather's been so bad, they haven't been able to go on the field pregame and do any kind of work.
Yeah, it's really been a tough situation. There's nothing they can do. They just have to work hard and work through it. That's why today was like a spring training day. You come out, you can do fundamentals, you get all the hitting you want. You can run through some relays, take an infield.
Marlon Byrd with a runner at first and one out here in the second inning. Byrd sends a high fly ball to center field. And KIERMAIER puts it away, 2 down. That'll bring up JUAN URIBE. Uribe just 1 out of 14 so far. Right back up the middle, but with the shift on, Forsythe has an easy play, and the side is retired. No runs ahead, a man left. Will go to the bottom half of the second. No score in St. Pete.
$1 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is back and includes your first drink. Come grab some friends, catch the game from the corner or the new drink rails out in left field. And district tickets are only available online at indians.com/district ticket.
Corey Kluber goes to work here in the bottom half of inning number 2. Desmond Jennings will lead it off for Tampa. Jennings batting .278 after 1 week of play. And a pitch blown away, ball 1. Corey Kluber just turned 30 years old a couple of days ago. Makes his home now in Jacksonville, Florida, and he went to college not far from the Trop, maybe over a 2-hour drive at Stetson University. But his dad was a Cleveland guy. His dad went to high school in Cleveland. I asked Corey what it was like when he called home and told his folks that he had been traded to Cleveland back in 2010. And he said, well, let's put it this way. They were a lot more excited about it than I was. But to be fair, he had no memories. He didn't know anything about Cleveland at that time. But his dad was ecstatic. I mean, why wouldn't you be? That's the team he grew up rooting for. And
well, it's hard to believe Corey's been here now for, this is what, his 7th year?
Yeah. Well, and also, in all fairness, when he got traded in 2010, he didn't get traded to Cleveland. He got traded to Akron, really, because that's where he went. He went to AA. He was with the Akron Arrows, and then eventually moved on to AAA Columbus. Chopped to short, Lindor with a perfect feed to Napoli. Jennings retired one away. Arcia in the driver's seat. Checking out Corey Kluber. Per 9 innings, with at least 500 innings pitched among Indians pitchers. Corey Kluber is right there at the top of the list.
When you look at those two names, Herb Score and Sam McDowell, a pair of left-handers that, just from the people you talk to, their stuff was unbelievable. And you know, the stories you hear from people that had to face those two. When Kluber's ahead of that, that's very impressive. And right behind that is Carrasco. So, I mean, you've got the 1-2 punch, and we'll see Carrasco tomorrow night, who almost had a no-hitter here. That's good stuff.
Brad Miller sends a drive to center, left center, and Rajay Davis makes the catch, 2 down. And look, I'm not taking, don't take this the wrong way, because I'm not, by any way would I ever try to diminish the accomplishments of one Herb Score or sudden Sam McDowell. But I just wonder, Rick, in the era in which those guys competed and played in, there was virtually no television, very little media exposure. What these guys do now, every single pitch they throw is documented.
Yes, it is.
You wonder if, as you talked about, the tales we've heard about those guys, it's not that they weren't great, but maybe over time they've grown a little taller than reality. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but the game has changed too. Back then, when they were pitching, you weren't supposed to strike out. They frowned upon the strikeout. They made you choke up and hit with 2 strikes, where nowadays you can swing and miss and you don't get, nothing happens. They don't care. It's just another out. So, I mean, that's changed too. But I understand what you're saying with the video and everything that happens now.
There's no mystery
too many
left.
people you can go up and sneak up on and fool anybody because they know what's coming. But still, if you're not in the same division, just facing them a couple times a year, it's not going to help you at all.
Lindor scoops it up, low throw, and Napoli's right there to snag it. And the Rays are retired 1-2-3 in the second. Enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller time later in the ball game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Third inning here at Tropicana Field, and Jose Ramirez will lead this inning off for Cleveland. Switch hitter, 5 out of 13. He's swung the bat very well thus far. And for being a so-called extra or role player, he's been an everyday guy.
Yes, he has. Primarily, it's been in the outfield. I think he's had, what, 1 start at third base?
Yeah. He's been in left field. And who knows how many at-bats, how many games Michael Brantley will need before he's deemed ready to return. Big swing and a miss.
Tell you what, Matt Moore is locating that fastball very well to this point in the game. He's moved it in, he's thrown it in and proven he can pitch inside to the right-handers this first time through. He also has a changeup, the curveball, but he's really spotting that fastball down and in, and there's the hook right there.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, I told you he had 2 stints last year. The first one started July 2nd, and he made, it was 1-3 in 6 starts.
To left field. Jennings has it, 1 away.
Then went down and came back up September 1st in 6 games, was 2-1 and an ERA of under 3. And his fastball was really pinpoint.
And in all of that, Rick, take all of that into consideration. This was his pitch usage from a year ago. The majority, as with any pitcher really, fastball, 55, almost 56% of the time, 4-seam fastballs, mixed in a few sinkers. The next most used pitch for Moore was the curveball, followed very closely by the changeup. But even with that, only 18% curveballs and almost 17% changeups.
Well, when you're throwing it, and you know, after coming off surgery, you know, it's the arm strength and the location that gets there last. And now he's starting to locate that fastball, and that sets everything else up for him. When you can locate on your fastball on both sides of the plate, boy, it makes that changeup look that much better, and also the curveball. Threw a great curveball to Napoli to strike him out to end the first.
That ball's popped. Foul territory. Souza Jr. is there. And foul ground for out number 2. Let's go down to Andre, who has more on Michael Brantley and Lonnie Chisnall and their rehab stint in Columbus.
Yes, you already updated us a little bit on what they were doing at the plate down in Columbus. Basically, it was go like this for Brantley. He's going to play tonight. He just was replaced in the game by Joey Butler in left field after playing 5 innings. He'll take tomorrow off. He'll play the next day and do that for about a week. He's going to play every other day. Chiz will play every day, and then he will go to the Akron team over the weekend once they wrap up everything in Columbus. Hopefully next week we start hearing some rumblings about those two both coming here to play with the Indians.
All right. Indians, of course, will wrap up this series Thursday afternoon, then come home to Cleveland for 3 against the Mets. Off day next Monday, and then 3 more at home against Seattle. KIPNIS with a foul ball, and quickly 0-2. So Matt Moore to this point is executing the plan that Jim Hickey has laid out for all Tampa Bay starters, which is pitch ahead. Every pitching coach, pitch ahead, change speed. But unfortunately for Tampa, to this point, they haven't been able to execute that game plan. Moore, however, is doing that tonight, and it's not going to be an easy game for the Indians against this guy tonight. 2-strike pitch. There's that sharp breaking curve.
That's what he did on July 2nd when he matched up with Kluber last time. He went 3 hitless innings, and then they got to him in the 4th, where he ended up giving up 4 runs, and he only went 5 innings in that start. But he started out like this.
See, he just went from 84 to 94, from that curveball to that fastball that straightens you up. Like a changeup coming here. Stayed up. KIPNIS trying to bloop it in. Charging in and making the catch is Jennings. And the Indians are retired in order for the first time tonight. Middle of the 3rd, still scoreless.
Well, 2016 season tickets are still available and include 8 different plans. When you buy a prorated 20-game plan, you get up to 12 games for free. That's a 40% free tickets. Visit Indians.com season tickets for more details.
Home half of the third. Kevin Kiermaier, the Rays center fielder, will lead it off. And Corey Kluber's first pitch fouled straight back. Reached for it, taps it by Kluber. Kipnis quickly fires to first to get him one away.
Yeah, not a lot of time. He was getting down the line in a hurry. Kipnis had to get it, get rid of it.
Here's the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. Take a look around the big leagues. Shin-Soo Choo already shelved for Texas, as has been Robinson Chirinos.
Catchers for Texas have been hurt. McCann went down. Going down the first baseline, he hurt an ankle.
Pulled that foul. Hank Conger, switch hitting catcher, takes a little bit outside. Pop back out of play.
We saw a few differences in this dome coming in today, where they've tarped off some seats, you know, up in the upper deck and out in left field.
In the air to center, where Rajay Davis makes the catch. 2 down. And with the Tropicana field, there is no such thing as a routine fly ball, because the catwalks or the rings are in play, especially the highest 2. If a ball strikes either one of those in play in the field of play, it's a playable off the catwalk, which is
we have
bizarre.
witnessed that before.
It has
a number of times.
I think it already happened here this year in one of their first games.
You wouldn't think a guy could hit a ball that high and get up
I know.
there, but they certainly can. I mean, they have rules here. They're called the rings.
If it strikes the lower catwalks, it's a home run because they're beyond the fence line. But those first 2 are actually inside the field of play. And every once in a while, you see a towering pop that clips one, and you've got to stay with it as a fielder. You just have to know that going in.
I remember one time Omar Vizquel making a catch off the catwalks, where the left fielder lost it. He was able to run out and make a catch.
I want to say it was Tulowitzki in their first series.
Oh yeah, with Toronto. Well, they opened up here, yeah.
I think Toronto, he caught one off a deflection off the catwalk.
You may be right.
Swung out and missed. Kluber blows it by Forsythe to strike him out. It's his first K of the night, but he has retired 7 straight Tampa hitters.
Look at the Rays. We're going out there tomorrow. You and I. I'm going to let you pet one.
You enjoy yourself. Let me know how it goes.
I can't get you and Murph out there. I don't know why. Come on. It won't hurt you.
Francisco Lindor, Mike Napoli, and Carlos Santana. The bat here in the 4th inning. Matt Moore pours a fastball. Actually, that looked like it might have been a changeup.
Yeah.
First pitch changeup.
I think you're right.
And Lindor drives one to deep center. Kiermaier's out of room. It's out of here. Francisco Lindor gives the Indians a 1-0 lead. His first home run of the year, and it was rocketed to straightaway center.
Well, that certainly wasn't a changeup. That was a fastball, and he smoked it to straightaway center field. But I mean, Kiermaier, who is probably the best defensive center fielder in this league, he plays deep. He gets back there, and he's going to jump up on the wall, and he's been known to take a few away. But he had it timed. It's just hit out of his reach. So the first home run for Lindor gives the Indians a 1-0 lead.
Now Mike Napoli takes a fastball for strike one.
Second home run given up by Moore.
Just an interesting, going back to that interesting sequence. He starts him off changeup, then comes fastball, which tells me Lindor was looking fastball the whole time, which is what you should be looking for as a hitter.
It doesn't matter. You still have to hit it. I don't think he located it where he wanted to, because he's been pitching those guys inside a little bit early in the count. Second time around, he probably knows Lindor is a good fastball hitter, so he spit on the changeup, but he was still waiting for the fastball. He got it. Still had to hit it.
Mike Napoli down on the count 1-2 and takes up high.
You know, there's sometimes when you're a hitter and a guy starts you off with a changeup, you're thinking, okay, he's going to throw me something else, maybe another off-speed pitch or something like that, and you think you'll sneak your fastball by him, but not tonight.
And Napoli beats the shift as he splits the defenders with a hard hit ground ball.
You see, watch the timing from Kiermaier. Did a beautiful job of getting up there. I mean, look at, he jumps up like he's 10 feet tall. That ball was just hit out of his reach, but his timing was very, very good to get there.
Carlos Santana popped up on the infield his first time to the plate. And he tees off, drives one high in the air to deep left. Jennings back on the track, makes the catch. And Napoli went all the way back in tag, slides in, and they punch him out. And he's going to look back to the dugout and say, I'm not so sure they tagged me.
Well, they're waiting. They're waiting to see if they can get a replay here. You know, he's trying to hustle to get in. Did his foot get in before the tag? That's what they're going to wait and see. Francona standing on the top step. In comes Napoli. You can see he's just, this is a hustle play to try and get in the scoring position. And I think he's going to be out. Just from that angle, it looks like he gets that foot. Yeah, that glove, I think, catches the foot. But, all right, they're going to challenge it.
I haven't seen anything yet that convinced me he was out. I haven't seen anything conclusive that says he's safe.
Well,
but I'd like to see maybe a closer replay if we have
those
one.
Two, I don't know.
He's out.
I thought the glove got his leg before he hit the base, but they're challenging. So there you go. I mean, it's either going to be man on second, one out, overturned. Here's the look. Here's the look that we need right here. Does his foot get into the base?
Nope.
No, it doesn't.
Got him. Good play.
Yeah, it was. You know what? It's a hustle play. You got to give credit on the throw because it was right on the line. Napoli's just trying to hustle his way, get himself in scoring position. You can't blame him because it went all the way to the fence. But with Jennings, it was a very good throw on the money, and I think the call will stand. And there it is, very short. He's out. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Napoli trying to hustle and get himself in the scoring position. Here's the play. Here's the tag. Right before, that's awfully close. You're talking about 2 inches, you know. So you give credit on the throw. It's a good throw by Desmond Jennings. So they get the double play.
2 down. Yan Gomes the batter, and he takes outside for ball 1. The Indians on top 1-0 on the home run by Francisco Lindor.
Boy, those last 3 hitters all had good swings after he motored through that lineup the first time. That's what I was wanting to talk about, because Santana just missed that ball.
Missed. Looked like he had a pitch he liked. He put a good swing on it, but just missed really squaring it up. Gomes, he drives one deep left center field, and Kiermaier can't get it. It bounces by him, but backed up smartly by Jennings, and Gomes is in the second base with a 2-out double.
Tell you, those last 4 hitters, for whatever reason, that second time through, they're starting to.
Just like the game you talked about a year ago.
Yes, that's exactly right. He went that first time through the lineup against him, he was, you know, unhittable. But boy, the second time through, these guys are just letting it fly.
Kiermaier thought he was going to catch that ball, which is why he ended up getting pinned up against the wall. And now Marlon Byrd. Byrd digs in, fly to center his first time up. Runner in scoring position with 2 down. And he smashes one up the gut, but it's fielded nicely, and Forsythe throws him out. Francisco Lindor drives one where nobody can catch it, and the Indians have a 1-0 lead. The 4th at Tropicana Field, and our Buick stat of the game. Players of the week. First week of baseball. What a story in Colorado. 7 home runs and a dozen runs batted in. That is just insane. And of course, Tyler White, big start to his year for the Astros, but it pales in comparison to what Story's done.
Yeah, it does. Do you ever see Tyler White hit? He looks like Evan Gattis, man. He's crouched.
I thought it was him. I swear.
know it. Well, he's playing first base. The guy's off to a tremendous start.
Now here's Logan Morrison, a ground out his first time up. Corey Kluber has a slim 1-0 lead now. He's only given up 1 hit. That came to Evan Longoria, and that was kind of a seeing eye first inning single in which Longoria beat the shift with a ground ball. No, really nothing hard hit off Kluber to this point.
I want to see the shift now with Longoria coming up again, because it was a really weird shift. For their only hit, now you're going to see this shift come for Longoria. And you're going to see Napoli playing, it's almost like a second baseman with a man on third base playing in at the cut of the grass, but he's at second base, and you've got 3 guys over on the left side of the infield. And he was able to just push one by Napoli, who had to dive to his right.
Well, look, what happened last time was essentially what you'd have to chalk up to as an anomaly based on the mountain of data that they've compiled. And I think it's one of those kind of deals where if he wants to try and steer one the other way for a base hit, you'll let him. Yeah, well, here you go here. That's like a half swing.
That's a half swing, but did he have 2 strikes on him? That's what I wasn't sure in that at bat.
That's fouled away. He's got 2 strikes this time. Kevin Cash, youngest manager in the major leagues. Longoria able to hold up.
He did that base hit. He got his first time up. It was a 1-2 count. And I think Corey went with a cutter away, and that's the pitch he pushed.
The 2-2 inside, not by much. Fastball straighten him up.
I like that pitch, though. I like that pitch. Keep the hitter honest, boy. You can see it's upstairs a little bit and just a little bit inside. It keeps you honest as a hitter.
And Longoria not biting. First walk issued by Kluber with 1 out here in the 4th. Not that Longoria necessarily dives into pitches, but the way he sort of rocks into one, that fastball to straighten you up is a great pitch. And he just, Corey, I don't know if he overthrew it or if he just was going to make him chase on the 3-2 pitch.
Sometimes when you're going in there, you don't want to miss out over the plate. If you're going to miss, you miss in off the plate.
I meant on the 3-2.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know,
on the
did he just overthrow it, or did he just not want to throw him a strike there?
No, I think he wanted to throw him a strike, but he didn't chase it.
Corey Dickerson bounced into an inning-ending fielder's choice in the 1st. He's, as I mentioned, off to a good start in the power department with 3 home runs. And I mean, that's something obviously that Tampa desperately needed coming into the year. Somebody to give Longoria some protection. Otherwise, if you're facing the Rays, you don't have any reason to pitch to Longoria unless they've got somebody behind him that can present some problems.
Very true. One guy gets hot in that lineup, you have ways to pitch around him.
But this is not what Kluber wanted to do here, though. Fall behind Dickerson 2-0. Oh, man, did he take a hack. Almost went to a knee.
He did. That was almost, you check it out. He is on a back knee. Looks like Adrian Beltre.
Yeah.
From the left side. He's one that can do that.
Just missed outside, and now Kluber's again behind in the count, 3-1. Runner goes on the 3-1 swing and a miss, throw down. And it's a double play indeed to end the inning. Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. It was only a 3-1 pitch. I was thinking that was the 3-2.
Very quick release here by Gomes. They started the runner. It's a high fastball. He might have helped him out because I think it was out of the zone. You can see the tag by LINDOR. He holds on. Tags him right under the arm. Gets him. That's out number 2.
Swung out and missed. He strikes him out. Boy, Corey Kluber takes care of Dickerson and the Rays here in the 4th. Gomes guns down Longoria, and the Indians lead it 1-0. To you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. We go to the 5th inning. And it's a 1-0 Indians lead. Up and away.
Well, last inning, and going through that lineup for the 2nd time, the Indians offense seemed to get a little more aggressive on Moore earlier in the count. Well, that's maybe why he started changing that pattern. Start guys out with change-ups because they're waiting for that fastball now. So we'll see if he comes back and makes an adjustment as well.
Upstairs. Not a bad pitch when you're facing Uribe. He's been known to chase the high stuff. He boots one to third. Longoria knocked it down with his chest and throws him out.
Boy, oh boy. How do you stay in front of a ball that, I mean, that ball was just hammered by Uribe, and you don't move. Watch this in real time. He's playing back. Look how quickly that ball gets on you at third base. I'll tell you what, you've got to have some kind of courage. Look at, he's going to take it in there. Into the breadbasket. No sirree. He stayed with it. Boy, I give him a ton of credit. He's got to be hurting right about now. He's smiling. Was that Sarbaugh that said something to him, or maybe the umpire?
Never let him see you sweat. Whew. Jose Ramirez fly to left, his only time up. And it's upstairs, ball 1.
unfortunately for him, he didn't have time to get out of the way.
Back out of play. Down and in. 2 balls and a strike. Pulls that foul. Indians with a solo homer by Francisco Lindor in the 4th, the only run of the game. Corey Kluber has walked 1, struck out 2. He's given up 1 single. Indians have 5 hits against Moore.
They hit the ball hard.
And Ramirez, bouncer to short. Miller throws him out, 2 away.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Lofton. You can visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details. Another thing I'm noticing this year, not as many cowbells in here as far as the fans, unless it's still too early in April.
Yeah.
But remember, this place used to be so loud.
Got a little annoying.
You'd walk out of here with a headache.
Maybe the cowbells have come and gone.
I'm glad.
Cowbell era has passed. Maybe can't get them through the new metal detectors.
Security, huh?
Here's the 1-0.
I still hear a couple.
Moore just over 60 pitches on the evening. Better than a 2-to-1 strike to ball ratio. And a foul right into the catcher's protector, chest protector. And Conger shrugs it off. Whoa, put them on the mask.
Yes,
oh,
it did.
And the 2-1 is low. So Davis with a good at bat here. He's worked the count, trying to get aboard. Swings and fouls it out of play. Full count.
Got inside on Rajay there. 3-1 count. Fastball inner part of the plate. Tied him up.
Upstairs, ball 4 and a 2-out base runner. April in Ohio continues tomorrow night here in Tampa when the Indians take on the Rays. Indians live with Alan Jensen starts at 6:30. First pitch at 7 right here on Sports Time Ohio. April and the OHIO presented by Meyer. And it won't be long until playoff time for the Cleveland Cavaliers. That's right around the corner. What, next weekend?
This weekend, yeah. I think they start Sunday, if I'm not mistaken.
Snap throw to first. Davis.
Okay, that's good to know that the left-hander has a step-off move. We showed you he has a slide step, and he will also pick up his leg. But I think with Davis on it, I'm not so sure he will, knowing that this guy is a base stealer. And I don't look for Rajay to stay around long.
Kipnis takes. It's ball 1.
But you see, That's what pitchers do now, Matt. They pay so much better attention to base stealers. The left-handers, it's a guessing game to begin with, even when he raises his leg up. But when he has a slide step and he gives that catcher an opportunity, it's awfully difficult to try and take off. See, I mean, he gets rid of the ball in about a second. So, I mean, that's one way you stop base runners from trying to steal. Even though Conger behind the plate has had his issues. Okay, he had the quick step off move, and then that way he didn't really lift that leg up. He's got to try and find one pitch where he lifts the leg up and just take off as soon as he sees it. But will he do it? I don't know. He's not taking a big lead anymore.
Good pitch. Off speed. And now Kipnis will have to go into swing mode. He was trying to give, it looked like he was trying to give Davis an opportunity to get in the scoring position, but Raja either just couldn't pick up anything.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. Moore's done a beautiful job of changing his tempo and delivery to the plate and throw over to first a couple of times. That's the one you wanted to go on.
Strikes out Kipnis, ends the inning. First strikeout since the first inning, in which Moore struck out 3, give him 4 on the night. Left the Indians still on top, 1-0. Drop. We look down at the playing surface. Indians with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 5th. Desmond Jennings, Brad Miller, and Steven Souza Jr. due up for Cleveland. Corey Kluber goes to work on Jennings, who grounded to short his only time up. The way this game has started out, I'm sure the Tampa Bay Rays are saying to themselves, we have seen enough of Indians pitching to last us a lifetime. When you go back to a year ago, Cleveland came in here in a 4-game series, and in those 4 games they gave up 6 earned runs on 13 hits and struck out 39 Tampa Bay hitters.
It was,
and mind you, of those 39 strikeouts, Rick, the game Salazar pitched, and Salazar's a guy who can rack up a bunch of Ks. He struck out 2 batters.
Yeah, that was the time that stopped his streak.
Because he just was mowing them down early in counts.
Yeah, he had a no-hitter for, what, 5 2/3. He ended up, that stopped his streak of 3 or more strikeouts in a game to start the year. Or his career, I should say. But boy, that pitching in that series, you'll never see any better.
Kluber climbs the ladder for his 3rd strikeout of the evening. And Jennings is out number 1.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout. Elevated fastball. Get it up. Can't catch up to it when it's letter high. And a nice. You can get a lot of hitters on fastballs that are about letter high, middle of the plate, because they see the ball so well and they get after it. You just can't catch up to it. I think more pitchers that have pretty good velocity and they can control it and get ahead. That's not a bad 2-strike pitch.
Brad Miller looks at a strike. Miller 1 out of 18 to start the year. Formerly with the Seattle Mariners. Oh my, shattered the bat. And LINDOR throws him out 2 away. Time now to head back to the studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski. Here's Steven Souza Jr. taking a pitch up and in for ball 1. Like Dickerson, Souza Jr. with 3 home runs on the campaign. And right there is Jason Kipnis. They'll make quick work of Souza. And the Rays is Corey Kluber. Another 1, 2, 3 inning. He's had 3 of those on the night. The only run of the game coming on a leadoff home run in the 4th inning by Francisco Lindor. Straightaway center of Matt Moore, and it's a 1-0 ball game. Lindor leads off for the 2nd time tonight and takes ball 1. First time, or that last time up, it was a first pitch changeup, 2nd pitch fastball, and Lindor smoked it.
Well, you notice he started him off inside with the fastball this time.
Moore's 2-0 pitch. And a fastball that was just up enough that Lindor couldn't quite get the barrel to it. 2-1. Moore at 75 pitches on the night. just below the zone. Boy, that's a great eye. I know he's ahead in the count, doesn't have to go after it, but that pitch probably looks really good coming in.
Well, he hasn't called the bottom part of the strike zone like a lot of umpires do. He's called more of the top part of the strike zone tonight.
Well, a 3-1 pitch. Lindor pops one sky high on the infield. 1 down. Our great clip of the game. Let's go back to Saturday. Napoli. That 2-run shot tied the game against the White Sox off the tough left-hander Chris Sale, and then Yan Gomes gave him the lead with a solo jack.
Yeah, opportunity to win that game. They took the lead 3-2 in the 7th. Anderson matched. Sale pitch for pitch in that start.
Mike Napoli, born in Hollywood, Florida, grew up in South Florida, went to Pembroke Pines High School. Actually, that wasn't the name of the high school. It was in Pembroke Pines. It's called Charles Flanagan High School in Pembroke Pines. He graduated in 2000. By 03, that school had 6,000 students. It's the biggest high school in the state of Florida at that time.
I played baseball with a guy from Pembroke Pines when I was in A-ball, Reno, Nevada. Yeah, kid was a shortstop.
Well, they got a lot to choose from, evidently.
Well, I guess. Well, you know, baseball down here, they play it. They can play it year-round.
Now the 1-2. Yeah, but imagine that. Just think about this for a second. You're at that high school around the time Mike Napoli is. You go for baseball tryouts. You got 6,000 students, and how many guys you suppose went out for the baseball
team? College, isn't it? Yeah, no kidding.
The 250 of you that came out, we appreciate your. We only can keep 20 of you. The 1-2. Up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I have to ask Mike how many guys went out for tryouts.
Right. That would be a great question. How many guys did you have on your team, and how many guys tried out?
The 2-2. Might be one of those deals like when you're in junior high and they have an A team and a B team. Might have a couple of different squads just to give everybody who came out a chance. The 2-2. Bounced in there. And a full count.
And then again, even when Napoli falls behind in the count early, he seems to work his way back into at-bats.
Now Moore rocks into the windup and the payoff pitch. And a high pop. Looks like it's playable. Souza Jr. overran the ball and still made the catch. Wow, what an adjustment at the last moment by the Rays right fielder. It looked like he had overrun it to the point where he would not be able to make a play. Somehow he did.
Boy, he was able to put the brakes on. And on that turf, he stopped. And then he's got to dive back to make the catch. And, you know, I don't know if it has anything to do with looking up into the roof and picking it up, or that ball comes back in the third territory. There's no wind to blow it. I know that. No. Unless it's the air conditioning. But, yeah, you have a tendency. He overran it, but he stayed with it.
I think what happens to outfielders is you might lose it for a moment, but you'll pick it up again. And maybe when he picked it up again, he realized that
I was a little too far.
Was a little off. Yeah,
I was a little. That's what you said, though. There's no routine fly ball in this place.
No, it really
because
isn't.
this is his home ballpark. You know, this is just a very difficult place to look up into that roof, and sometimes when you do take your eye off it and you look back up, it may take you a couple of steps to pick it back up. We don't have to deal with that one in Minnesota anymore after about 4 years now that they have Target Field.
Yeah, that one. I think that one was even harder.
It was, no doubt. That was the toughest.
This one, believe it or not, as crazy as it may seem for those of you listening at home who have never been here, the catwalks actually make it a little bit easier
to see
because there's something to break it up. In Minnesota, once you lost it in that ceiling, there was no way you were going to find it again because it was like it was just completely camouflaged. At least here with the catwalks, it might break up the ball's flight and then you'll pick it up again.
Well, and in Minnesota, it used to be you would lose the ball in the seams. And this is right above our heads. I don't know.
It came down.
Eventually they do.
Well, here they don't sometimes.
That's
Their
true.
balls have been stuck up on those catwalks and they might still be up there.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, one just nestles up there and doesn't come down. The 3-2 pitch. Bounce to third base in Longoria. Perfect throw. And the Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0 Cleveland. Well, Corey Kluber carries a shutout into the 6th inning. He's been very efficient tonight.
Yeah, been locked in. 3 strikeouts, just the 1 walk. Giving up just 1 hit, and that was like a seeing eye hit to get through the infield. But sharp breaking sliders, as you mentioned, efficient, moved his fastball around. Not many balls hit on the nose yet to this point off Corey.
And you know, at the end of the day, that is the name of the game when it comes to pitching. It's just that we're so used to seeing Corey Kluber double-digit strikeouts, just completely making the guys look foolish. So I said efficient. I guess to a degree you could say he's been overpowering here tonight, just doesn't look overpowering.
Well, that's fine. I like it when these guys can get outs on 3 pitches or less, because that means they're going to stay in the ball game for a lot longer. He's at 60 pitches and you're in the 6th inning. So you have to love that. You want guys to put the ball in play and get your outs. Oh, got him in the back leg.
Yeah, he did.
That slider, you talk about the back foot slider, that was a back knee slider, and he's going to go to first base.
Now, KIERMAIER, who can run, that might slow him down a little bit too.
We heard him moan all the way up here. Watch his back knee. Oh, it hit the foot. That's a back foot slider. Holy smokes. I thought it got him a little higher, but that's right on the toe.
Listen.
Wow, you're right. That ball keeps going in, and you try to get your feet, your legs out of the way of that pitch, but you don't move your feet because you have your toe hold. Yeah. There's not much you can do to get that foot out of the way.
Well, Hank Conger will be the batter.
Well, we'll see how they choose to do it. If they want to bunt here with situation, you're going back to the top of the lineup. Can Conger even bunt? He swings hard. I know that. Whether they may want to choose a hit and run, but we'll see how his foot is.
Uribe's not thinking bunt because he's even with the bag at third.
But again, do you want to give up and out when you're facing a guy that has electric stuff tonight? You need every swing.
And as you pointed out, I think the most glaring thing that you said is can he bunt? Is he effective? Can he get a bunt down? You have to play to your hitter's strength too.
Yeah, a lot of times you don't like to give up the out if a guy is not very good at what he's going to do. Kluber's stuff is moving all over the place. It's tough enough to hit, let alone try and bunt. But they'd be happy to take a ground ball and turn a double play.
Sometimes during the course of an at-bat, a manager might change his mind too. He might put the bunt on, then take it off, might not have it on, and then put it on at some point.
Yeah, as a hitter, I didn't like that.
You'd rather know going up?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it. If we got a job to do, let's do it. But what happens sometimes when you fall behind a hitter and you get into a situation where they want to bunt originally, they take the bunt off and let them swing the bat, is what happens. But most time when you get it in your mind and you have a job to do, it's tough to change from pitch to pitch.
Boy, I don't want to get completely off topic at this point in the game, but it reminded me of something I saw in a brief interview with Barry Bonds the other day. Now the hitting coach for the Miami Marlins, his philosophy on hitting was really pretty spot on as far as being able to relate it. There's the bunt, but it's not even close to being in fair territory. And I thought you'd appreciate this in case you didn't see it, but Bonds was saying, everybody's played golf, right? Most of us have played golf, because I'm not really a golfer, but let me just tell you this. When you're on the golf course and you got that sand wedge or that little 9-iron in your hands, you swing it nice and easy. You're trying to just get it to the green. He goes, then what happens when you get that driver? You get that driver and you're trying to kill it. He goes, that's the thing in hitting. You want the swing to always be the same. You don't want to muscle up. You don't want to try. The swing should always be the same. He talking about tempo and balance. I thought, wow, that was really interesting take.
Short, quick, and smooth through it with good balance. That makes sense.
Now Conger swings away and fouls it straight back. So you can see Kevin Cash in the Rays dugout has gone back and forth. Let him swing. Now let's try to get a bunt down.
Yeah.
Now, okay, let him swing.
That's what I'm saying. It's tougher on the hitter to make adjustments during pitches. You know, instead of just, all right, get your one job. Pick what you want to do and let's get after it and get it done.
Well, now Kluber has a chance to get the strikeout here. But Conger did not chase. And it's now 2-2.
It's a nice pick by Gomes right there.
Now that's where Kluber has such great confidence in his catcher.
You go down and in with that slider. Look at that. I mean, you keep that guy at first base. That goes, that's not in the box score. That goes unseen. You know, but I guarantee he gets into that dugout, they'll say nice pick over there, because that's giving up 90 feet, and in a one-run game, that's an awful lot.
Runner goes, 2-2 pitches. Fouled away. It was really an odd-looking foul ball initially.
Well, it's almost like it was a hit and run, but he's got 2 strikes. So the runner started, and it's almost like he protected. It was a pitch, I think, out of the strike zone. I mean, I'd have to see it again. It's almost like Conger thought it was a hit and run.
Yeah.
That was in his eyes, but he knew the guy was running, so he wanted to put it in play. You'll see that's a ball. But Gomes was coming up throwing.
Tell you what, with the shift on, if that thing would have stayed fair, it could have been trouble.
Yeah.
Could have gone another 10 feet or so. Conger way out in front of it. This one, it hit the ring. It's in play, and Napoli makes the play. Tremendous job.
Now they're saying it was in foul. They're saying no play. It's in foul territory. They're pointing up.
Oh, yep, it's in foul territory.
Right.
So yeah,
it was in foul territory. So
it's got to be in fair territory to be able to play it off the catwalk. Yeah.
Well, good thing we covered that earlier, didn't we? But Napoli does a great job. Look at him. He stays with it. Now he sees the ricochet. He comes over there, makes the catch, but it was in foul territory, so a dead ball.
And there is a yellow line, a yellow beam hanging from the catwalk to let you know that where that ball hit off the catwalk was in foul territory.
I'm glad you can see it.
It's not where it hits the cat, or not where it lands. So say had that ball hit the catwalk in fair territory and then he caught it in foul territory, then it would have been an out. But I wasn't really looking initially where it hit the wall because I lost it.
It's still weird when you're bouncing balls off the roof and it's in play or it's foul ball and you can't see it. It's still crazy.
Conger bounces one to Napoli. They go to second. There's one. Uribe's return throw to first in time to Kluber.
Well done. 3-6.
That's going to go 3-5.
Oh, 3-5-1. Okay. You see how quickly Napoli gets it, gives a good feed. Uribe right there, old shortstop, makes the turn easily. Kluber got over there in a hurry and plenty of time. So that's there. You gladly take that ground ball double play, get that base runner off the base. That was hit. And now you've got 2 outs.
Boy, you think back to that at bat by Conger and think about how much happened in that one at bat.
Yeah. That was and he was getting locked in too.
He went from trying to hit to maybe let's put a bunt down. That didn't work. All right, let's go back to hit. Well, we had a foul ball off the O-ring or whatever. And oh, that's foul. No, that's not an out. Let's go back.
At one in his eyes.
Right. And they end up turning a double play.
Yep.
Oh, beautiful pitch. Forsythe, nothing he could do.
Yeah, just watch it break into the zone because that was sharp.
Gomes wants this one away. No chase from Forsythe.
Well, it can't be fun when you're a right-handed hitter, and he proved he just threw that slider for a strike. That's the pitch you're going to have to lay off, that slider. That's his strikeout pitch.
Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Number 4 for Kluber. And through 6, it remains a 1-0 Indians lead. Baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by Ford, built Ford tough. We go to the 7th here at Tropicana Field in St. Pete. Corey Kluber has been dynamite, a one-hit shutout through 6 innings. Matt Moore has only given up 1 run through 6, and that was on a solo home run by Francisco Lindor in the 4th. And now Yan Gomes will lead off the 7th inning. Matt Moore, drafted by the Rays in the 8th round of the 07 draft. And then 4 years later, he was pitching at Double-A. And 2 days before his birthday, his family came to watch him pitch. And his older brother, who also played baseball and played professionally, was having lunch with him before the game. And his older brother asked him, he said, are you superstitious? Do you always eat the same thing before every time you pitch? And he said, no, exactly the opposite. He said, in fact, I'm wearing the same polo I wore the last time I pitched and I got rocked. And I'm wearing it just to show that it has nothing to do with that. And what did he do that night? He went out and threw a no-hitter.
Okay, good for him, because you know a lot of baseball players are superstitious.
It was the first no-hitter in the Double-A Montgomery Biscuits team history. Struck out 11, walked 2.
Montgomery Biscuits.
Yeah, the Southern popped to right. Souza makes the catch. 1 down. And then at the end of the year, remember, he gets called up, makes his debut. Somebody got hurt. I think it was Alex Cobb, maybe. Don't hold me to that. He goes on the playoff roster and wins their first postseason game.
Yeah, he was dynamite in those in the postseason. I think it came against the Texas Rangers.
Here now is Marlon Byrd. 0 for 2 on the night. He's flying out, grounded out. He's been aggressive. He's been getting after more early in the count. Our Levin player profile takes a look at the 38-year-old Marlon Byrd, who is actually 3 months older than Tampa Bay manager Kevin Cash. And a swing, a foul tip into the glove.
That's why they can't have anybody 38 years old on Tampa. Can't have them older than your manager, pal. They've got a younger team.
Yeah, they had some kind of crazy stat I was looking at earlier as the 1-1 pitch from Moore comes in. And Byrd belts one. Deep left. Is it deep enough, though? Jennings onto the track and makes the catch. 2 down. They got some kind of streak going where they haven't had a guy start a game as a pitcher, starting pitcher, over the age of 30 since Eric Bedard in 2014. He was the last one. And that streak's not going to end anytime soon unless they have an injury and have to go out and get somebody, because they don't have anybody over the age of 30.
Right.
Arizona had a streak of 237 straight games, but then Zach Greinke started their season opener. He's 31. But it's 243 in a row for Tampa, starting a game with a starting pitcher under the age of 30. Longest current streak in the bigs. And if you go back to 07, 94% of their games since 07. That's a decade.
Yeah.
Have been started by guys under 30.
Now it's
not that amazing when you consider guys over 30 are usually in their free agent years, and this isn't a market that's going to be able to go out and afford free agent pitchers.
That's true.
I mean, David Price at some point would have broken that streak for them, but they couldn't afford to keep him.
Right.
The 2-1. And a foul right back.
Well, and there are a lot of young kids in the game now. But you're right. If you get up to the big leagues when you're, let's say, 22, you know, which is pretty young, 22, 23, you got to have 6 years before you become a free agent. That's right around 30.
Yep. Uribe awaits the 2-2, and it's high, full count. Well, it looked like the Indians had zeroed in on Moore in that 4th inning when Lindor hit the homer. Then Napoli had a sharp single. Santana almost hit one out. Gomes doubled. But since then, Moore has regained control. And he strikes out Uribe potentially ending his night, as he has retired the last 7 in a row.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets start at just $10 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets located in the family deck out of Progressive Field, home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse. Tickets are only available at Indians.com.
All right, Corey Kluber goes to work, bottom of the 7th. Indians bullpen is quiet. Tampa has action in theirs. Moore's at 104 pitches, so I kind of figure his night is over. We'll wait and see for sure, but they got a lefty getting loose. Corey Kluber at 73 pitches goes to work against Logan Morrison, and a swing and a miss. Morrison, he was seeking something first pitch that he could hammer, and Corey crossed him up. Might be Dana Evelyn from the left side getting loose for the Rays. They've got a couple of lefties in their bullpen.
Right.
3. Two quick strikes on Morrison, who twice tonight has hit a ground ball at first baseman Mike Napoli.
Yes,
Chased one in the dirt, and Corey Kluber has his 5th strikeout of the night. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's watch Corey Kluber on the super slow-mo go to work here. Look at the spin on that pitch.
Yes, sir. Swinging over the top. You can see the rotation on that super slow mo. And then he rides the high fastball up and throws it by a hitter. Another breaking ball. Not so easy to hit, huh?
Not at all. Evan Longoria, he goes seeking the fastball, but look at the location. I mean, sometimes even if you're looking for your pitch, you think you're getting it, but it's just not in a spot where you can really do any damage with it, let alone catch up and put it even in play. Lays off the off speed. That's one thing about Longoria, the veteran that he is, and he's a pretty patient hitter. I mean, we haven't seen him overly anxious or overly aggressive. Sometimes in a one-run game, you're thinking, well, one swing of the bat, I can do some damage here. Pulls that one and broke his bat. And Uribe with a long throw on the money to Napoli, 2 down. let's go down to Andre Knott. Andre, with the weather and everything it's done to the pitching staff, are we ever going to see Josh Tomlin pitch in a game?
We're not going to see him or Roberto Perez. I kid. Today, since the team came over early, they had a little bit of a simulated game for Josh Tomlin. He got to pitch against some live hitting, and he told me afterwards, he says he felt good. He did what he needed to do. He said he wasn't dominant, but he was on the inside and outside where he needs to be. He's scheduled to pitch Saturday against the Mets, if I believe we have our days, or Friday against the Mets. He told me, he goes, I'm not going to make an excuse. He goes, my job is to be ready when I need to be ready, and I'm going to be ready when they hand me the ball.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah, he has no other choice. You got to go out. You got to try and stay as sharp as you can.
I think Andre was right the first time. I think he's scheduled to go Saturday. I think it's Carrasco tomorrow, Salazar Thursday, Cody Anderson Friday, Tomlin Saturday, and then Kluber will pitch the finale against the Mets on Sunday. Swung on and missed. Corey Dickerson out in front. He struck out his last time up. Two balls and a strike. How rare is it, as the 2-1 pitch comes in, that you see two left-handers warming up in a bullpen at the same time? That's pretty rare, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Usually you see righty-lefty. Tampa's got two lefties warming at the same time.
I don't know why.
The 2-2. And wow.
Well,
even Kluber, who shows no emotion ever, pounds his glove in frustration, as Marty Foster didn't give him the call here that he thought he had. That's right on the plate.
Well, and Gomes has a tendency to bring it back in that hair, but it was an awfully close pitch.
Pitch tracker had it off the dish, and now he swings and drives one the other way, and Jose Ramirez can't get it. Over his head, this will be a 2-out double for Corey Dickerson after Kluber thought he had him struck out. And now Dickerson just flips one the other way over the head of Ramirez.
Yeah, and that's not an easy play because Ramirez got an okay jump. That ball was down, and you see it gets over his head and gets to the wall. Not an easy play, especially when you're not an everyday left fielder.
And especially when you even haven't had a ball hit to you all night. That's the first one you get.
And he picked it up off the ground and it's slicing, and he hit it with a little authority. That's the toughest thing about playing left field is left-handers don't drive the ball over your head. More of them, hit them in front of you. They flare them out there. That one that they drive out there is an awfully tough pitch to handle.
Jennings comes up empty. Now there's a case too where as a starting pitcher you invest so much energy, concentration, and focus, and you might think you've got a third strike that you don't get called. That's where you've really got to be able to brush that aside. And there's a line drive base hit, and Tampa's going to tie the game. So Jennings delivers the 2-out RBI single to score Dickerson. And just like that, we're back to even.
Yeah, they do it with 2 outs.
Kluber goes from looking like he's out of the inning with another 1-2-3 frame. And the next thing you know, the Tampa Bay Rays tie the game.
Yeah, he goes down, and that ball was in. It could have been possibly off the plate, but hits it into the right spot. You're off and running, scores easily. So we have a new ball game. And you keep your eye on Jennings because he can steal a base if needed, or at least will try with 2 outs and get another guy in scoring position.
Miller takes a strike. Tampa had 1 hit for 6 2/3 innings of this game. This will end the inning. But Corey Kluber falls victim to maybe some tough luck here in the 7th, and the Rays have tied it at 1. Presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. One ball game now as we go to the 8th inning. And the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen is for Xavier Cedeno. Last year, Cedeno led Rays lefties with 61 appearances out of the bullpen, even though he didn't join the team until their 21st game of the season after they got him from the Dodgers. But he did a nice job.
He was the last Ray to make his appearance this year. Did it Friday night in Baltimore. So he's coming on into a tie game as Matt Moore went 7 very good innings. 5 hits, allowed a run, walked 1, struck out 4. And their run coming on a LINDOR home run back in the 4th inning to lead that inning off. So again, he and Kluber matched up into a game that has been very good.
Xavier Cedeno went to spring training as the oldest pitcher on the Rays 40-man roster at 29 years old. Down and in. And Ramirez hits one to center where KIERMAIER makes the catch, 1 down. Saturday, it's an MLB on FS1 doubleheader as the defending AL East champion Blue Jays take it on David Ortiz and the Red Sox. Then in the NL East, it's a matchup between the Braves and the Marlins that you can see only on FS1. It all starts Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on FS1, or you can watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Rajai Davis 0 for 2 with a walk. And he looks at a strike. One of the reasons that we thought it was odd that they had 2 lefties warming at the same time in the Tampa bullpen is that The Indians only have one left-handed hitter in the lineup, and that's Jason Kipnis, who's due up next.
Well, two of them, I guess, you know, if they tie the game, you bring in one. If you're, the other one may have come in if it remained 1-0 ball game.
You would assume Colomé's up in case Mike Napoli makes it to the plate in this inning. Davis down to the count, 1-2. And the 2-2 offering is right back to him. And Cedeno will flip it over, 2 down. Xavier Cedeno got his first career win in the big leagues against the Indians. And that was in his 102nd career appearance.
That's a lot of appearances, huh?
You're not kidding. According to Elias, it was the most appearances before a win since Brian Schaus in 04 did it in his 112th appearance. This is the reason he's in there to face Kipnis, though. Lefty. He has only given up 8 extra base hits in 223 at-bats against the left-handed hitters. So Kevin Cash wants to make sure that Kipnis doesn't give the Indians the lead. And a ground ball right at Forsythe with the shift on, throws him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. We'll go to the last half of the 8th, deadlocked at 1. Dual fanship in Ashtabula and Beverly Hills, Florida.
All right.
Our Yellowwood Bringing the Lumber features the home run by Francisco Lindor. That was back in the 4th. It gave the Indians their only run of the night, a lead that held up until the 7th inning. Bottom third of the order due for Tampa. Beverly Hills, Florida, not noted for movie stars, limousines,
no,
but swimming pools.
Yes,
plenty.
I would imagine, or lakes. Cement ponds.
High fly ball into center. Davis converging with Marlon Byrd, who makes sure Davis squeezes it for out number 1. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs, 2 strikes on Dickerson. Looks like strike 3. Kluber thought it was, didn't get the call, and what do you know, on the next pitch, over the head of Ramirez in deep left for a double, and then Jennings drives him home with a base hit. And we're all tied up.
Hit a pretty good low breaking ball, Dickerson did, and then Jennings hit a fastball down and in. So 2 out, nobody out, and they ended up tying it up.
Kevin Kiermaier, big swing and a miss. Tell you another play that really looms large that we haven't talked a ton about just because of the way the game has played out. But after the home run by Lindor, Napoli singled into left center, and then Santana drove one to deep left that looked like at first it might get out of here. But Jennings made the catch on the warning track. Napoli aggressively tried to tag up at first, get to second. Bang, bang play. He was called out. Indians challenged, and the ruling was upheld. So there's a double play that kind of wipes out maybe potentially a rally. Next guy up, Yan Gomes doubles.
Right.
And because there were 2 outs, Marlon Byrd's ground out then ended that inning. But it looked like Moore was starting to teeter a little bit. And that key play, that great throw by Jennings, maybe helped get him out of a lot of trouble in that inning.
That was a big turning point. You're absolutely right.
Three-2 to Kiermaier, who was hit on the big toe of his left foot his last time up. By the way, since that double by Gomes with 2 outs in the 4th inning, the Indians do not have a hit. They've been retired 10 in a row. Three-2 fastball missed badly, and a 1-out walk to Kiermaier.
Well, if you go back to this play in the 4th inning, and now watch where Jennings is at the wall. He set himself and makes a strong throw. Napoli trying to aggressively get into second base. It looked like he beat it, but he did not. He was tagged on the foot just a couple of inches before he got there. That turned into a double play. Gomes came up after that and doubled, and was left stranded. So they took a chance on the challenge. It didn't work out.
So a runner at first, 1 out. Bottom of the 8th, Hank Conger to the plate. He's 0 for 2, and just now action in the Cleveland pen. Foul right back. I believe it's Cody Allen. It is. Sky high. That one through the catwalks. Down into the seats.
Yeah, he hit the catwalks before.
And then eventually hit into a double play.
Yeah, in a strange inning or at-bat sequence.
That had a little bit of everything. Kluber just over 100 pitches. But he also hasn't pitched since April 5th, so maybe with that extra rest, it's understandable Terry Francona wants to maybe go a little longer. Could potentially be his final at bat of the night, though. Threw it in the dirt, blocked by Napoli.
A little sidearm throw to first base. Short hop. Napoli just knocked it down and kept it in front. See it from the side? That's why he short hops him instead of going over there with a little dart.
Runner goes. Check swing, throw down. Called safe. And he went on the appeal, so you get the strikeout, 2 down. But it was a close play, even with LINDOR tagging him on the back leg.
They may catch a break on that check swing, but they called it.
Oh, I tell you what, he might have him.
Well,
what do you think?
I don't know, but they're coming to look.
Watch the hand, and when it actually gets to the bag, boy, that's bang, bang. I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it really is, because watch LINDOR gets the ball by the time he tags, and let's see, boom. I don't know. That's tough.
That's like splitting hairs. If they can freeze it, but it would be. I'll just say this. At first look, from what we've seen so far, probably a tough one to get overturned. Unless you got a freeze frame where you can clearly see his hand not at the bag when the tag is there. By the way, this is a crew chief review. And the crew chief, Mike Winters, is the guy that made the call. I'm going to review myself.
Well, why not?
And okay. The stand will call, or the call will stand. Look at KIERMAIER. Did you see? Whew. He knew how close it was.
Well, when you're going into the bag and you're down head first, you may not even feel him tag.
Yeah.
You know, on the play, you're just thinking, I hope I got in there safe. He is in scoring position. There are 2 outs now in this inning. KIERMAIER got on because he walked. That was the second walk of the night for Corey Kluber. And they're back up to the top of the lineup now for the 4th time.
And Terry Francona elects to stay with Kluber with 2 down in the inning. He has struck out Forsythe his last 2 times up, and he goes at him with a fastball low at the knees for a strike. So rare anymore that a starting pitcher gets to face a guy 4 times in a game. The 0-1. Swung out and missed. He chased one in the dirt. It's 0-2.
Good breaking ball down out of the zone. You get him to swing. You see that ball starts out low, and if it's spinning, you better not swing at it because you're not good. You don't have a chance to hit it. Down on the count now, 0-2. See if he stays right with that pitch.
He does, and Forsythe does not chase after it. Indians have won 5 in a row against Tampa. 6 of their last 7 here at Tropicana Field. But this one is up for grabs. Straighten him up with that good fastball inside.
There's the honest pitch. Keep him from diving out there looking for that breaking ball down and away, something you can't hit on the inside.
The 2-2. Way outside. Nice backhanded stab by Gomes. And now the string is out. Kluber turned 30 2 days ago. The 3-2. Hammered deep left and gone.
Their string continues with a home run. And boy, what a big hit for Forsythe. Let's look at the pitch. It's a fastball. He had him down in the count 0-2. He throws one right down Broadway. Right down the middle, and he takes advantage of it and hits it into the seats and will give Tampa a 3-1 lead. Had him down 0-2, got him on the sliders, couldn't get him to chase that third one and left the fastball middle of the plate and gets beat by it.
Timeout at the Trop. Tampa now leading it 3-1. Tampa Bay lead now after Logan Forsythe, who was 0 for 3 and had struck out twice against Corey Kluber, but facing him for the 4th time in the game, fell behind in the count 0-2, came back and hits a 2-out 2-run homer to break the tie.
And all Tampa runs scoring with 2 outs tonight.
Logan Morrison facing Cody Allen takes ball 1. Now a 2-0.
Well, Cody's looking for the strike zone. It's been last time he appeared in the game, April 6th. He was back at home against Boston. He went an inning, got the save. So it's been, what, 6 days for him as well.
And there's a called strike, 3-1. Two-out opportunity now for Evan Longoria.
Number 3, third baseman, Evan Longoria.
Longoria is 1 out of 2 on the night. He singled back in the 1st inning, walked in the 4th, grounded out his last time up. That's outside, ball 1. Two and 0. Over the outside corner, that's going to make the count 2-1. Longoria came into tonight's game with 5 strikeouts and no walks in his first 6 contests. So he picked up his first walk of the year in the 4th inning. And he blew it by him, 2-2. Quick throw over, and it couldn't tell. Either Morrison just kind of got a slow reaction time back to first, or maybe he was twitching to take off on a 2-2 pitch.
Well, you've waited this long, you might as well stay in case it goes to 3-2.
I just think his foot got stuck in the ground.
I think you're right. Roots were growing underneath the shoes.
Or maybe he was just getting ready to take that shuffle step when Cody turned and threw over, and he was like, uh-oh.
Now he can run.
Runner goes. The 3-2 is hit high and deep to left. Back is Ramirez, and goodbye. A 4-run 8th inning for Tampa.
Longoria hits his second. Full count, comes down with a fastball that was down, and he got after it. Hit it high and hit it deep. Ramirez went back to the wall, but it gets out of here. So a couple of 2-run home runs for the Rays here in the bottom half of the 8th inning has put a big crooked number on the board for them.
All 4 runs in the inning, all 5 in the game, coming with 2 outs. And this isn't a sure thing. LINDOR there to make the grab. Tampa takes control in the 8th. 2 2-run homers. Al and Jensen, it's a tough pill to swallow right now for the Indians, but they still have 3 outs to work with. Down 4, however, in their last at bat. Alex Colomé will come on to pitch. Colomé had an interesting outing a week ago. He made 34 pitches. Rarely do you see a reliever throw that many out of the bullpen, but he got the win in that game for Tampa Bay.
Yes, he did. And you know, this is, well, it's not with a 4-run lead, a save situation. They've come from behind in every game that they have won this year. They've been trailing to the 7th inning. And what happens? It's only a 1-run lead, but they do it again tonight.
And I know the conventional thinking is, well, you got to score more than 1 run to win a Major League Baseball game. In most cases, yes, I understand that's true, but you know, here's a game where it's a 1-0 game. You know, going into the bottom of the 7th, the chance was there for a victory. Whether it's 1-0 or 5-4, it still was a chance for a win. And the Indians let one get away, just like they did the other day on Saturday in Chicago. 1-run game going to the bottom of the 7th,
yeah.
And it just, the roof fell in. LINDOR fouls one back.
Well, it's the 21st consecutive game that Tampa has homered. Consecutive games going back to last year, but boy, none bigger than in that 8th inning, a pair of 2-run homers. And as we mentioned, all 5 runs Tampa has scored coming with 2 outs.
Two balls, 2 strikes. See if LINDOR can spark something for the Indians here in the 9th.
Napoli's got a duck every time he hits a foul ball. It's coming off the netting and coming down near him on the on-deck circle.
Off the plate, sky-high chopper, going to be a tough play. And he's out by a whisker. Forsythe did a terrific job. He had no margin for error, not a juggle. And he fielded it cleanly and able to throw him out one away.
Well, you knew it was going to be close. LINDOR had a very good jump out of the box, and he had no other choice to grab it, flip it, get it over there, and put something on it. And he does just get him. He was on the way down to the base, so good play by Forsythe.
And up comes Mike Napoli, 1 out of 3 on the night. Low and away, ball 1. Fastball right down Broadway. Now the 1-1. Carlos Carrasco and Drew Smiley, the matchup for tomorrow night. 7 o'clock first pitch time, 7:10 to be exact. The 1-2, and Napoli can't catch up. 2 down. Looking back at the keys to the game, brought to you by Mazda. Indians didn't have a whole lot going for them tonight offensively. LINDOR hit the home run. It's the only run of the ball game. And they just were unable to really put anything together. They had a chance in that 4th inning to maybe knock more around a little bit, but Desmond Jennings might have made the play of the game for Tampa defensively on a terrific throw that turned into a double play and might have just taken any chance the Indians had away of having a big inning tonight. Well, that's the only inning in which they've really done anything. They had 3 hits in the 4th. They have 2 other hits the entire ball game, and those were singles that happened in the 1st and 2nd inning respectively. Now the 1-1. Santana hit it off of his foot. It stays foul. If this were a football game, you'd say it was a tale of 2 halves. The Indians won the 1st half. Tampa came from behind and has dominated the 2nd half thoroughly on both sides of the ball. And the 1-2 pitch is hit deep to right. Back is Souza and makes the catch to end the game. Tampa stuffs the Indians, retiring the final 13 hitters in a row, 16 out of the last 17. As the Rays take the series opener 5-1, and they stop a 5-game losing streak against the Indians.
Well, there's one straight over his head. He timed it beautifully, jumps up. Souza makes the catch. Would have been a double for Santana. Makes a nice running catch going over his shoulder to end the game. Both teams had 5 hits in the ball game, but it was the 2-run homers and a big 4-run inning. All their runs coming with 2 outs.
Indians fall to 2-3 now on the young season. Tampa Bay gets to within a game of 500. They are now 3-4. We'll be back with some final thoughts from Tropicana Field right after this.